Hey there, I'm Mark, affiliated with Spectrum Pulse, and it's the Bad Bunny album bomb week, and this, it's Billboard Breakdown.
You're stuck up on long-term memory loss.
Another week, another massive album bomb as the 2023 Billboard year winds down to close. Hopefully it'll be better. I actually haven't fully reviewed the Bad Bunny album. In my general experience, they all tend to run long and tend to be better for...
I actually skimmed through it. It was like, I skimmed through it, like I did, like, I clicked on every song, and I, like, just skipped through a few parts, like, heard, like, 15 or 20 seconds of it. I was actually surprised. There were more, like, rap songs on it. I don't know, like, because I've never listened to a Bad Bunny album, but when I skimmed through the new album, it actually seemed more rap, like, focused. There was a lot more rap beats. Definitely more. Because on the last one, I don't remember there being, like, as many, like, more rap-heavy songs, I guess. The main reason I honestly skimmed through it, because I wouldn't have, unless Drake, because I thought Drake was going to be on at least one song. And when it first came out, it was hidden features. So I just had to skim through every song and see if Drake was on it. There was no Drake. I was immensely disappointed.
Scattered singles rather than full projects, but it's also not the only story this week. And I'll admit I'm both kind of shocked and
Cruel Summer?
disappointed by the other story, because it takes us to our top 10, where over 4 years late, Cruel Summer by Taylor Swift.
Look, I'm not a very big Taylor Swift fan. I'm not a hater either. I actually think some of her songs are okay. But this song, pretty mid. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really get the hype for it. Oh, also, I listened to I more like skimmed through the new 1989 Taylor Swift version. I was very surprised. Cause you know, like the big hits like Style, Shake It Off, Blank Space. They really fucking sucked. Like, I don't know, like, especially Style. I think I've seen people on Twitter agree with this. Style sounds like absolute shit, and I don't know why. Like, I actually, like, the only Taylor Swift song that, like, I actually think is, like, really, really, really good is Style. Like, that's the only one, like, I actually, like, think is, like, really, really good. But when I heard it on the new Taylor's version, it was fucking shit, bro. I was so surprised at how bad it was. Like, her voice sounds like a robot on the song. It's so weird. I don't know. I don't really get the hype behind the Taylor's version album. I mean, like, I get the hype, kinda. I mean, like, for her fans, but, like, people outside of, like, the Taylor Swift fandom, I wouldn't really get the hype for it.
Has finally reached the number one. Pretty convincingly, too. She took the last of her radio momentum and paired it with a really big streaming boost and a discounted single release to get the sales and put it on top. And... okay, I mean, it's a good song. It's a great song, honestly. A part of me is happy that it went to number one, and historical blunder with the Lover release rollout was reversed. But Taylor Swift is also one of the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing her pull out all the gimmicks, especially when it's an old song, just to add another number one to the pile. She shouldn't have to do this, that's my point. Now, she did overtake Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat at number 2, which had a rather uneven radio week, even as its streaming was quite strong, okay. But again, she just did not have that added sales margin. And right behind her is Snooze by SZA at number 3. The streaming got a bit of a boost, but with this sitting...
the song's been doing actually really good. Like, I didn't expect Snooze to, like, become, like, top 5. I'm pretty sure it hit number 2. I was actually pretty surprised by that. This seems like, to me, like, oh... this song would just peak at like 12 or 11, and it'll fall off after like a few weeks, and it'll get on the year-end list. But like top 5, like that huge, I didn't really expect it for that. And after like all these months after the initial album release. Very interesting.
Up on.
I think it definitely has to do with, like, it might have to do with radio. I don't know, wait.
Stable radio. It's not really going anywhere right
now. Is it streaming? I think it's streaming. Did you say streaming?
And right behind her is Snooze by SZA at number 3. The streaming got a bit of a boost, but with this sitting on top on stable radio...
Oh, yeah, radio. Yeah, radio.
Right now. Then we saw I Don't Give a Fuck by Drake and Yeat fall back to number 4. Yes, I know the Yeat fans were really fighting for this one to get traction, and it dominates streaming, but it didn't really get much more, mostly because radio was nowhere to be seen with this.
Obviously.
Then we got our first new arrival, Monaco by Bad Bunny at number 5.
Wait, I gotta listen to this song. Actually, I haven't like listened to this song in full.
This one,
I've probably listened to it.
No surprises. It's pretty much all it's got. It's gonna fall back pretty soon. But right behind it is I Remember Everything by Zach Bryan.
Am I the only one who feels that Bad Bunny's presence is a lot less than last year's? Because, like, I don't know. I haven't seen, like, much talk, like, really, like, about Bad Bunny's new album. And, like, I first saw it, like, Where She Goes. Like, people talked about it for, like, a couple of days, and that was it. And then it kind of, like, fell off a little bit, like, at least on the U.S. charts. In other countries, definitely not. It did not fall off. But, yeah, I was pretty surprised with it. Wait, let me check. I'm going to check where it's at right now. It's probably, like, it's still in the top 10 for top global. Oh, wait, never mind. Taylor is there. Never mind, guys. Where is it? It's not even on the list. Wait, is it? It's not even on the list. Where She Goes? Yeah, Where She Goes is not here. Yeah, it's all just fucking filled up by Taylor. Anyway. Yeah, he's been underperforming a little bit, at least in the US, because he was going crazy. He was going fucking crazy last year, bro. He had like multiple songs going crazy at the same time. But now I don't know. I don't know how long these songs from his new album are gonna stay on. I'm not sure, because I haven't really heard much about it, honestly. Like, in comparison with last year, this album is a lot less popular, I guess. Not popular, but less successful. But we'll see. We'll see. Honestly, we'll see.
And Casey Musgraves returning to number 6. Again, radio is still not getting on board.
I've still yet to hear this entire song. I can't even remember what is in this song. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I could honestly care less about Zach Bryan. I know people might get on my nuts for that, but I don't care about Zach Bryan.
I think with streaming this strong and consistent, it's hard to care. Maybe they don't need radio. Instead, we got Fast Car by Luke Combs at number 7, which does have the radio.
Now, this is a country song I can get behind.
But it's definitely on the downswing. I don't think its streaming is going to catch up. It had its chance. Then we got Drake,
yeah, it's over. That song's over.
First-person shooter with J. Cole falling off the number 1 down to number 8. Again,
I'm actually surprised. No, I'm not surprised. I'm actually interested to see Drake's longevity with this album on the charts. It's very interesting to see because, like, last year, well, not last year, CLB had more presence last year. I would say, like, the songs lasted longer. Obviously, like, Drake's gonna get absolutely raped by Taylor Swift next week. Like, we all know that. But after that, like, where are his songs going to stand? Because I'm not sure how long I Don't Give a Fuck is gonna last. And first-person shooter, it seems like it's just honestly got behind I Don't Give a Fuck, because that song, I still don't really see, let me check, I still don't really see that much streaming for that song. Holy fuck, this is all Taylor Swift. Oh my god. Yeah, it's at 32 right now, and I Don't Give a Fuck is 12 spots above it. So, I don't know how long, unless they make a video. Bro, if Drake was smart, he would have put out first-person shooter first with a video, and the hype around this album would be absolutely insane. Like, you have no idea. I feel like this album would have been, like, a lot bigger if Drake put out First Person Shooter as the single with a video before the actual album instead of Slime Me Out, because Slime Me Out is a terrible fucking single. I don't even like I don't really like the song that much. Like I don't think it's that bad. It's more okay. Terrible single though. That's a terrible single.
Predominantly on streaming, although this did get shipped to radio, and I can't help but feel it's going to struggle without having a strong hook. But holding up the rear, we got 2 Morgan Wallen songs. Last Night at number 9, because while the radio is trying to get rid of it, the streaming is still there. And Thinking About Me re-entering at number 10. Not quite the original peak, but it's on the radio upswing, and streaming has just been slow to catch up. In other words, we're probably not getting rid of this anytime soon. Yippee. Now this takes us to our losers and dropouts, and given that it's our second album bomb week in a row, and most of Drake's album bomb didn't fully leave, this is where you start seeing the more noticeable connections. All the more telling in the last weeks of tracking of this Billboard year. It's really down to the wire. Now the biggest of our dropouts is probably 7 by Jungkook and Lotto, although I'm almost certain that it's clinched its year-end list spot already.
Nah, probably has.
Getting knocked short, we got Telekinesis by Travis Scott, Future, and SZA, and Deli by Ice Spice, and Tourniquet by Zach Bryan, and Mi Ex Tenía Razón by Karol G. And in the best news, at least for me, Popular by The Weeknd, Playboi Carti, and Madonna. Now, as expected, Drake is the biggest loser this week, so let's get through all that first. Virginia Beach at 15, Slime You Out with SZA at 21, Gently with Bad Bunny at 49, Calling For You with 21 Savage at 56, Daylight at 60, 8 AM in Charlotte at 63, What Would Pluto Do at 66, Fear of Heights at 68, 7969 Santa at 81, Members Only with Party Next Door at 82, Bahamas Promises at 84, Drew a Picasso at 85, Tried Our Best at 86, Amen with Tizo Touchdown at 88, All the Parties at 89 with Chief Keef, and Another Late Night with Lil Yachty at 95. But Drake was not the only loser. For instance, off the debut, Wild Ones by Jesse Murph and Jelly Roll just tanked down to 76, and the rest are following continued losses from last week.
Obviously, because of the
momentum is
album.
sputtered out. Everything I Love by
I wouldn't really say so. I mean, this guy's more of an extra than me, but
Secure. Whereas Hey Driver by Zach
obviously
Bryan and the Warren
the album bomb is gonna fuck everything up.
La La by Mike Towers hit 91, Turks and Caicos by Rod Wave and 21 Savage hit 98, and Truck Bed by Hardy fell to 100. They're all going to fall well short. Outside of those, Get 'Em Back by Olivia Rodrigo is just not picking up traction at 79.
Yeah, man.
By Jungkook and
I'm very interested. I know, the album just came out. I think I might have said this last time. Olivia Rodrigo is kind of underperforming, honestly. I'm okay, of course, Vampire. That did good. Bad Idea, right? It didn't do that good, honestly. Compared to the last album, Sour, Driver's License, Deja Vu, Good For You. Even what was it? It was Brutal or Traitor. I think it was Brutal that was the 4th best single. Those songs in comparison did fucking amazing. Vampire did good, obviously, because that's the Driver's License. But Get 'Em Back. Bad Idea, right? It's not really doing that good, honestly. I don't even think it's doing that good on streaming either. Yeah, it's not even on top 50 USA. I mean, obviously Taylor's fucking everybody, but and Get 'Em Back, that's getting absolutely nothing. It's not doing good at all. And that's very worrying, honestly, because what are we gonna get from Olivia Rodrigo that's actually new? She needs to reinvent herself. I'm not gonna lie to you, because when you look at Olivia Rodrigo, you don't see much growth. You look at Sour and Guts. They both have the purple aesthetic. Guts is a little more darker, obviously, but Vampire, that's just Driver's License. Bad Idea, right? That's more of a Brutal. And Get 'Em Back, I guess you could say that's kind of the Good For You, and maybe that might be stretching a little bit. But I don't really see that much growth. It's more of the same formula that she's been doing since the last album. I'm really interested to see what her 3rd album will be like, because this will 100% make or break Olivia Rodrigo. If that third album does not do something like very like unique or special, I think she might be done, honestly. That might be a hot take, I don't know. But if that third album has nothing really super special on it, and it's more of the same from before, she might be honestly done. I mean, I know that album's probably going to be in like 2 or 3 years, honestly. But very interesting to think about how she's going to survive.
Jack Harlow hit 93, and honestly, I think it probably deserves a bit better. Something that I'm not exactly inclined to say for Ski Yee by Sexy Red at 94, or Better Place by NSYNC at 99. Now for our returns and gains. It's an odd week. Let's deal with Bad Bunny first. Where She Goes returned to 54, probably sealed its year-end list spot, and Un Preview got a nice boost up to 4.
Yeah, year-end spot? I didn't even know. Okay. Maybe it didn't do as bad as I thought it did. I thought it did way worse. I mean, honestly, they probably did the same as like an average like Bad Bunny like Spanish song. Like it debuts high and then it goes down to like this 50s or 60s and it just kind of stabilizes there for like the rest of the year. Makes sense.
47. But what's interesting to note here is that our gains, they're all concentrated in the upper half of the Hot 100 because Drake saw a lot of big losses and Bad Bunny did not land enough songs up there in order to hold position. Now, this does allow some great songs to capitalize, and given that they didn't lose much last week, we saw big gains
for Season.
I Love Mine All Mine by Mitski at 35 and Water by Tyla at 46.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain that Dial Drunk by Noah Khan and Post Malone shot back to 33 to seal its year-end list position.
Yep.
Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift is whole.
If I do, I will most likely I'm gonna definitely make a worst list. I might also make a best list. That will most likely be on my best list. Dial Drunk, probably.
Holding on at 25, it's not going recurrent yet. That being said, when you look at what saw gains,
it's going recurrent next week.
Year, man, it's painfully uneven. Starting with Jelly Roll having saved me with Lainey Wilson at 37 and Need a Favor at 23. Then there's All My Life with Lil Durk and J. Cole at 27. Used to Be Young by Miley Cyrus at 26. She also saw Flowers back at 18. Barbie World by Ice Spice, Nicki Minaj, and Aqua at 19. Greedy by Tate McRae at 17. Dance the Night by Dua Lipa at 13. Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo at 12. And Fuck You Mean by Gunna at 11. Now, I understand it's only a late year snapshot of what were hits in 2023. It's a pretty rough list. All I'm saying. But again, we are absolutely in album bomb territory thanks to Bad Bunny with 19 new songs charted, but thankfully a lot less
19, holy fuck.
Top 20, so not counting the best nor worst, and outside of the top 20, apologies again for my bad Spanish in advance. Acho PR with Archangel, De La Ghetto, and Nengo Flow at 83, Thunder E Lightning with Eladio Karen at 80, Vielvic Candy B at 70, Nomi Cuero Casar at 65, Mercedes Carota with Young Chimmy at 57, Vu 787 at 53, Gracias Por Nada at 52, Seda with Bryant Myers at 38, Baby Nueva at 34, Telefono Nuevo with Luar La Lel at 32, Cybertruck at 30, Mr. October at 28, and
Cybertruck
at 22. Okay, that's a lot. So let's get to our new arrivals. And again, we aren't starting with Bad Bunny or the album bomb. No. Number 92, Worth It by Offset and Don Toliver.
Was Save My Grace last week? I think it might be this week.
The only songs that aren't from Bad Bunny this week are from Offset and that new project, which I'll admit I also haven't sought that out. I've never been wowed by solo efforts from Migos, and both of those debuts, they come with guest stars and they're early on the album. So here, I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I actually dig this a decent bit. The chunky bass line and softer guitar around the chalky but jingling percussion.
From what I heard, the Offset album isn't that bad.
Into a more melodic lane that works pretty well alongside his better flow. And Don Toliver's hook is really strong. Now, I don't exactly love the content. There's this paranoid edge back and forth with this girl. The open question whether or not she's worth all of his attention. And the mistrustful edge adds a vibe that doesn't exactly fit fit well with all the flexing. I don't know, the atmosphere is moody, but the sour energy doesn't complement it as well as it could. I'd still call this good, but I think it should be better. Number 78, Vaticano by Bad Bunny. One thing you'll notice about this Bad Bunny album is just how dark it is. Not just in how much Bad Bunny sounds kind of angry and miserable across the whole thing, which makes the length truly tiresome, but also how the synth tones and the heavier grooves are intended to create a much more nocturnal trap vibe. But I think this is the only song where the undertones become truly hellish, and I mean that as a compliment. That chilly synth line, the scuzzy reverb enhancing that very haunted feel, the spare low end, the dirty trap switch-ups that never dominate the song, and then Bad Bunny fully sinking into all the debauchery in the content. This is blackout dance music intended to fuck to get nasty, where the go too far
Mark
begins working to his advantage, especially as the biblical guilt begins to sink in.
The family-friendly channel.
It reminds me of The Weeknd at his very darkest, and again, that's
really
for this sort of vibe.
Okay, might gotta listen to that then.
In this lane with this texture, especially around October, more than the literal song called Mr. October that was trying to cultivate some of this, I'd probably like the album a lot more. Because this is really good. Number 61, Los Pits.
I guess all the visualizers just doing on a horse.
Funnily enough, I thought this was the worst song on the album even before I saw the weird sub being thrown at Shakira of all people. The synth and the warped sample sounds like it's off-key and dying. A major issue with a lot of the melodies across this album, they're just really ugly and accentuate this unpleasant, petty vibe. Then the clunky snap beat gives Bad Bunny nothing to really work with, and he sounds about as lazy as possible here, where he even mentions that he could be doing more with deeper themes, but that doesn't really bring in the money. And I might have to challenge him in that. I'm not sure I buy it. But my God, he sounds miserable doing this.
He's honestly kind of cooking with that.
Obnoxious tone where all the preening horniness has this dismissive angle where he's confident he's just going to get everything he wants. And that makes him a lot less likable even before he takes a shot at Shakira, implying that while men cry,
why don't you take a shot at Shakira, bro? This guy's ego is high as fuck.
This year on the Bizarre Rap song where she responded by actually challenging him to make music with her.
Bro, why as a guy are you dissing Shakira, bro?
Because this really sucks. Skip it. Number 48, Say My Grace. Time with Travis stepping in for the assist. Probably why the track percussion is so sharp. In order to back up the grand, borderline symphonic orchestration, the production here is legit impressive. There's bombast here to sell lines where both Offset and Travis mentioning Takeoff's passing. You'd think they would use that to get to something real and dramatic, and I can't say this does. Offset seems to be focusing on systemic violence until you get complaints about him getting canceled if he speaks his mind before all the threats and the brand name porn show up. Then Travis Scott's hedonism is still just really flimsy. There's just not much worth caring about from him. And when you have a hook that's all about ghosts from your past getting in the way of you eating now, I mean, there could have been so much more to sell this, especially with production that sounds this potent. It's fine, I guess. I just wanted to like this more. Number 24, Hibiki by Bad Bunny and Mora. Okay, comfortably my favorite song on the album, mostly because it actually has a fucking pulse. Admittedly, I wasn't that fond of that contorted melody that opens up the track, but when it gets subsumed into the mix and Mora comes in alongside the pulsating beat and the percussion switch-ups, even with that weird trap flip midway through Bad Bunny's verse that lasts about one line, there's a little bit more swing and anthemic punch to this. And yeah, a lot of it's just a bunch of horny debauchery for the club, but Bad Bunny and
bro, these visualizers are fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Somebody actually having a good time with this, even if I think it's a far cry from the highest energy jams that Bad Bunny has released before on previous albums. So yeah, I think this is solid. No idea if it's gonna last, but I'll take it if I can. Number 20, Perro Negro by Bad Bunny and Fina. Okay, I think I get why this one broke this high, despite being nestled very deep in the track list, and not just because I generally like Fight on this song. Yeah, it feels like a stock reggaeton knock, as admittedly we're not getting many of those on the album, but the beat feels punchier, picks up a rougher texture amidst the
We're never gonna stop using this
and I think the hook's pretty decent. Granted, it's more of a mechanism for Bad
When
Bunny
as a
just to
society
go
will we
all
stop
in on this
doing that,
girl
bro?
who just
Oh
dumped
my
her
God.
boyfriend to the point of wanting to demand she tell her dad he wants him.
What country is that,
He
bro?
wants to get her pregnant, and that she's got a face like a pretty pussy.
Is that Colombia?
Charming. Now, Fine, thankfully, is a little bit more restrained in his entreaties. He does have the
I don't think that's
flavor
Colombia.
here,
I don't know.
but I really get the feeling this is coasting in a lot of familiar reggaeton grooves. I just can't call it a favorite. I wish I liked it more. Number 14, Fina by Bad Bunny and Young Miko.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like
Last time
these,
we talked about
this
Young
beat
Miko
is
when
like
she was actually backing up Fied,
an actual like
but now with
not
Bad Bunny bringing her
reggaeton
on
beat, bro.
board for another whirring slice of Latin trap with that oily sample and the bass
know.
that clips the edges of the mix. And look, I'm sorry. While Young Miko can
Sorry.
complement Bad Bunny's energy with her own desire to seduce this girl, and she blends pretty well into the Tego Calderon interpretation, she's just so deadpan that Bad Bunny just completely steamrollers the rest of the song with his own horn dog energy. Maybe it's just how the sample feels weirdly ugly alongside all of this, or how the song just kind of runs out of gas by the time that really sloppy refrain comes around. Yeah, I didn't care for this either. I think it's pretty bad. Next, and finally, number 5, Monaco by Bad Bunny.
There's also another beat that I was like, oh, okay, this is like more of like an actual rap beat.
I'm a little surprised.
Like, you could
this
hear,
was
like,
the Bad
Travis
Bunny
Scott
song
on
that
this.
ended up being pushed and charting the highest with the video. Yeah, part of it is being placed this early on the album, but the oily mixing alongside the trap percussion that swamps out the low end produces this really sour clash of tones. And yes, while that fits the content, which is Bad Bunny flexing on everyone, down to dissing rappers who become podcasters, and then bragging about everyone he now rubs shoulders with, the vibe just eventually starts curdling, especially juxtaposed with that sample of an old Charles Aznavour song from the mid-60s about a man who wasted his youth on a lot of fleeting pleasures. And I don't think Bad Bunny subverts the track and goes in that added depth as well as he thinks he does. Now, I don't think it's bad. I certainly appreciate the bombast of it all, but it's not exactly as fun as I was hoping. Might as well be the story of this Bad Bunny album, to be honest. It's just kind of hit or miss. So anyway, that is our week. The worst is very easy. Both are from Bad Bunny, with Los Pits getting the absolute worst.
Los
of the week,
Pits?
and Fina
What was that name?
Miko getting the dishonorable mention. I just do not get the appeal with her. The song isn't very good either way. Now, the best, it's more interesting. Hibiki with Mora is actually going to tie for the top spot with Worth It by Offset.
Okay,
That sounds really cool. Now, next week, it's going to be a bit of a lull before Taylor Swift comes back with 1989 Taylor's version.
Even a bit of a
for
lull.
everything. But we'll actually have to see what that looks like. It's
I'm stupid. This is... Okay, so maybe... Is Taylor Swift the week after this one? Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, I'm fucking stupid. Oh, I should kill myself. Oh, my God. Okay. Wait. Is it next week? Because it came out... Oh, yeah, it came out Friday. Right. Okay. And I'm late as fuck to this video. Alright, well, Mark, that was another fire video. Not big.